Hi, my name is Wendy M. Koch, and I'm the author of A Gray Resort and my newest book, An Awakening. And you're listening to Ghosts in the Valley with Al Cooley.
Hello and welcome to Ghost in the Valley podcast. I'm your host Al Cooley and welcome to season 6. Tonight is my first interview with a gentleman out of Pennsylvania who is going to share a couple of his stories with us. And I appreciate when people come on the show and share their stories because that's a hard thing to do, is to say you've seen a ghost, you've seen a UFO, you were abducted. It's really tough. And then have your peers and family members calling you crazy or nuts and co-workers. And I appreciate everybody that comes on and shares their stories with me. Eric Benedict, he is my first guest of 2024. And let's get to the conversation with Eric. Welcome to the show, Eric.
Hi, Al. Thank you.
Okay, where are you from?
I am from out in Fayette County, out by Perryopolis.
That's in Pennsylvania?
Yep, it's a pretty interesting area.
Do you have a lot of activity there?
Oh, yeah, I hear a lot of different people with stories and stuff, and, it's not like uncommon to hear people to have experiences.
Okay, so when was it that you first started believing in ghosts or spirits?
Well, I think I always kind of had like a belief in them. Whenever I was a child, I used to have these, I forget what the technical called, or pretty much we call them goblins or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I used to see them, and they're known for like being shadows and stuff like that, imitating and turning into animals. And I never really saw anything of it because, you don't grow up thinking or realizing that type of stuff could actually be possible.
Exactly, get right.
Like, I remember one time as a kid waking up, getting kind of like flustered by one, whatever it was trying to do, and it imitated my cat on its back legs. And I screamed for my mom, and my mom came in, and there's my cat just walking normal all of a sudden. I'm like, how would I tell my mom it was walking on the back legs?
Right. Sherri Granato, she a friend of both of ours, she recommended you to come on the show and that you had a couple very interesting stories you like to share. So what's the first one?
Well, whenever me and her girls were teenagers, they were having a birthday party, and I came over for a birthday party, and I was walking up the steps, and I looked over into their room. They had the door open, and it looked like some lady, like real sad or whatnot, like a nightgown sitting on the bed. And when she walked up, I said, how you sleeping this? How you sleeping there?
Right.
And her face kind of like the chills, like kind of looked at me like, what do you mean? I was like, I just seen a lady sitting on your bed. And she was like, well, actually, my house is haunted and everything. And she was like, we're really, have a lot of paranormal activities and stuff. And she's like, what can you tell me? I kind of just go with the flow. Like, I'm really big on just, going with my senses, how I feel. A lot of people are like, wow, you really speak your mind. Well, I really act my part.
Right.
I guess that night, I think I was channeled maybe because, I really don't remember telling her, but I do remember standing in the room speaking to her, and I told her, and after I said it, I was like, why would I say that? But, now as I'm older with more experience and stuff, I realized, it was just an emergency like response from the other side warning her like she needed to get out of there. I guess like a week later she ended up in the hospital. But I told her, I said, if you keep sleeping in here, you're gonna die. Even as a teenager, kids say weird stuff or whatnot. But, like I remember standing there thinking, like, why would I say that?
Right. Where do you think that spirit came from?
I think a lot of the spirits from down there are a lot to do with like the early 1900s, the coal mine industry and stuff. There's a lot of pain, there's a lot of families lost children and their fathers, you know what I mean? And they're immigrants coming over trying to start a life. That's a lot of pressure on a person to leave a big impact on, just our realms. The situation with her, it was actually the owner of I'm remembering now that she did say something about the lady that lived in a house before her passed away in their room.
That has a lot to do with it, right?
Yeah, but she had I know there was a multiple like spirits attached to that house.
Uh-huh.
There was something with the basement and stuff, but like it didn't really come through to me. I think like, they pick and choose or something. Or
right. Mm-hmm. Right. I've been on a few paranormal investigations where, the spirit picks and chooses who they want to connect with. Sometimes you don't get nothing at all, Was that an older home, like an old house?
Yeah, it was, I believe it was probably built in the, like, real late 1800s,
Mm-hmm.
early 1900s. I'm guessing it was built around whenever the coal mine industries were really bringing in a lot of immigrants in to work in the mines.
Right. Yeah, I was just curious because, sometimes with these older homes, there's so much history in that house with people that have not moved on yet, Or sometimes the spirit can be carried into that home from someplace else.
Yeah.
So you believe that you can carry a spirit onto another location?
Yeah, there's multiple. I think that could be looked at in multiple different ways too, because like for example, my daughter is 2 years old. She just turned 2 on the 12th. The day she was born is the same day or same night that her grandmother passed away.
Okay.
So I believe that like reincarnation can be a connection in with that too.
Right. You're right. Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like how fantasy or action movies, how it's pretty much if you could think it, there's a reason you probably could think it. Like it relates into some other realm. Maybe it's you get the ideas from nothing comes from thin air.
Yeah. Well, how many times have you seen like occurrences like either a ghostly figure, a hologram, or just a spirit?
Yeah, since I've been older, I haven't really seen any. I've experienced a lot of energy. I've actually had a most people would call a mental breakdown. I would consider it a mental breakdown, but like I had an entity attached to me,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of like it's almost like it doesn't want you almost like it doesn't want you to remember it the right way or be able to express it. Because I remember asking Sherri how I really can point out, without equipment and stuff, on my daily life whenever I'm walking around.
Right.
How can I know whenever the experiences happen? But I don't really see anything, but I'll get these feelings, and then that energy is going through me or whatever.
Uh-huh.
I remember my daughter was almost 1, and she was I'm not too sure if it's just because she's still a baby. I believe she was laughing and playing and talking to her grandmother that passed away. I walked in the room, she's staring. She was in her playpen, and she was staring at the wall, giggling her butt off. just having a good old time. And I went over, I was like, what you laughing about? I looked up into the corner, and you just got that, like, that chill, or that warm feeling, like
Mm-hmm.
a comfort, not a scare, but a comfort come over me. And, and she said to me, or I got this, like, thing where it's like, when Heather gets home, ask her if she was thinking about her grandmother today and tell her it's okay. Her and her grandmother didn't have the strongest relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't like common for her to think about it and stuff. And this is a year later after she passed, all over, whatnot. And she came home, and I said that, and she said, she even says, like, you definitely got, like, a message from her, because I do not think about her. I was thinking about her all day, and she's bald.
Oh yeah.
You know, it was just like a comfort that she needed. And then, I mean, even talking about it, I kind of getting teared up.
Yeah. Is Heather your wife,
Yeah, she my fiance.
fiance?
Yes,
Does she believe in supernatural and paranormal, or?
yes, she does, but like, I don't know if she ever, like, other than our situation, like, I don't know if she, like, just says it because she knows I truly believe in it, but I do believe that she believes in it too. Like, her having that situation, it's like, well, did that really happen? It was like, yes, it happened. Like, why why does it feel like it didn't? It's like, because we're getting too close to the answers.
Right, right. So have you ever had an experience where you felt like scared, or you were going to get hurt, or anything like that?
Yeah, the night that I would consider the mental breakdown, I got attacked, and it's really interesting, because, like, we have, like, all this family issues and everything. Well, me and her mom and all of us were getting along. We're doing good, and I reached out to some of my family. My uncle was a pastor, and I hit him up and see how he's doing. And I was like, well, I got some time. You care if we come up and we'll talk for a little while? Well, I went up, and he was talking, religion, and telling me about the Bible, and we really got into some deep talks. Some people call it conspiracies, but, other people can't argue it, because, I mean, it's straight words from the Bible.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But in that process, we, like, stirred something up really bad. Like, and that's why I don't know, like, if there was attachment or what to me. But I, like, had, like, a freak out, like, just panicking. Felt like I was getting chased the whole night, and I was just had to be on a move, or else it was going to get me. I end up going back. I had the Lord's Prayer for being saved written down on a piece of paper. I had my old lady read it and everything, and she was like, "Something's not right with you. Like, just lay down, go to sleep. Whatever, whatever you're all worked up about. Tomorrow will be okay."
Uh-huh.
Well, she couldn't get me to calm down for nothing. I ended up freaking out. I was thinking that all of them in the house were after me, like, and that's why, like, sometimes it's just like kind of gotta go with the flow, because that night, if I was able to lay down, things wouldn't got so dramatic. But I ended up taking off in the car, and I do believe, in God. There's only one God. I mean, there are probably other gods, but there's only one creator. I believe I had a lot of protection that night, because I had a Ford F-250. I, like, parked it in the middle of the highway, jumped out, and ran towards a church. I ran across a creek, and my shoes came off. I ran through the creek, and I was running towards the church, and, like, somewhere in the middle of that field, it hit me and said, "Go back and get your truck. Hurry up before someone gets hurt." And I just felt like this relief, like, finally they're done, like, whatever's trying to get me. Like, I lost it at that creek. And I don't know how else to explain it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you might have like maybe some type of guardian angel with you, you know.
Oh, I definitely did.
Mm-hmm.
I was like literally calling red lights. Like, I was see the red light. I'm like, it's all right to go through it. Like, I knew that it was clear when I shouldn't have known it was clear. And like, I mean, just so many different things. Just was like anybody in their right mind would say that's a lunatic. Like, you don't act like that. I've been working on that relationship with her parents again. But it's, it's scary because it's like, you don't really know, and then, you make the best of it.
Yes, I don't believe in coincidence. I believe everything happens for a reason.
Right.
So there's a reason why things happen. It's not coincidence. Something, yeah, like you're saying, something when you're crossing that creek, something told you to go back to move your truck,
Right.
Sometimes that inner voice, and you better listen to it,
Right. Usually, like, when people would say about spirits and stuff, that's not the story I would tell. But like people with more, information on that type of situation, the type of experiences and stuff, they can, I know there's a little bit, it could be doctored out at, be like, hey, this is, this makes sense with what someone else said.
Yeah, have you ever thought about going on a paranormal investigation, or you think that's too much?
No, I'm the type, like, I don't know when to say it's too much until it's already been too much.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'm would definitely go on a paranormal investigation. Now where I would cross the line and stuff is now that I have a daughter. So like, and I know to, be cautious about it. I wouldn't go out like someone that just getting into it might like accidentally go into a spot and that spirit actually wanna, communicate with them, but really just mess with them.
Yeah, you said you were at Sherri Granato's house when she had a spirit in her house. Do you think that spirit's still there?
I'm not too sure. I mean, I'm sure it is, but if it's active or not, I'm not too sure. It's like, sometimes we go through our moments where we have a lot of energy. I think there's like waves of that. Whenever like, I feel like to try to think of the bigger picture. That's why I kept mentioning about the coal mines, because there was a lot of, and it's the same with today's society. There's people with a lot of money causing a lot of people a lot of pain just trying to get by. And I mean, it has gotten a lot better than what it used to be, but at the same time, there's a lot of things that, like they say, history repeats itself.
Oh, yeah.
So I think, like, whenever the actual living is doing things the right way, energies flow a different way. Or when people are doing things that, not going against what their gut feeling is. We have our own free will. I don't know. That's one of those questions, you just wonder, like.
Yeah, I mean, you were saying that that night when you felt like, it was attacking you, and you was running out of there, because sometimes there's angry spirits, mean spirits, ornery spirits. So you think it was one of those, or maybe...
I just think it was just, I like flirt up something that's connected to me.
Uh-huh.
And I think that's what a lot of people say they got bad luck. I think they just come with like it's not bad luck, it's kind of bad genetics, or not bad genetics, but less fortunate genetics. It's hard to like, because we're like, even our words, you ever hear like how they say the English language is written out and like, or came up with like a spell, like how banks or happen to be like a river bank currency, like the river flow, and it's like, I wonder if our actions are the same way.
It could be.
I've had situations where like I had a dream one night, and I I mean, it's not paranormal, but it's extraterrestrial.
Well, yeah.
Actually, hon, would you come here for a second? Maybe you could help me with remembering how that went that morning. Remember when we were at my mom's that morning, I woke up and I said something about, like, with the UFO thing, or well, with some type of entity outside the window and shit. And then some kid in our area posted a picture of a UFO he seen in the area that same night. And I thought that was, like, kind of odd.
I forgot all about that, though.
Right? Well, that's what I was telling him. I was like, it's weird because it's like a lot of these situations when we come close to the answers, like, they don't want us to remember it.
Right. Somebody had mentioned to me before about UFOs and Bigfoot, that usually whenever a UFO in that area is spotted, especially around the woods and
Right.
Water, there's usually a Bigfoot.
I mean, I've heard about, like, the Bigfoots having cloaking ability, and that's why, like, we can't get them. And then once they die, their own kind comes and gets them and takes them to their own realm. But my mom, like, she won't talk about UFOs or anything, but if you mention about Bigfoots, she'll talk about her childhood. I guess they lived up in the mountains, and where they lived, there was this part of the woods that, like, her family would tell her they were not allowed to go play by, and she said she always heard noises and stuff and always thought it was a Bigfoot. So,
I mean, some of the stories I get out of PA, your area is kind of popular for Sasquatch,
Right? Oh yeah, that one. I remember the one show came through. They were up in Uniontown. I mean, they had
organization in
yeah,
Uniontown.
they have an organization in Uniontown. They had the whole theater packed. The people with all their, all the experiences. Like, there's a lot of experiences. So, I mean, it's same with the government coming out with the UFO videos. I mean, they didn't release a lot, but they're like, there's a whole thing going on right now. I don't know if it's like some editing thing or not, but in Florida, there supposedly was a UFO sighting in Florida down at the mall. Now, I don't know if it was just a hoax or what. Like, I've been waiting to see if anybody else will post any more, or if I could actually get to the bottom of it.
Yeah, I'm always constantly getting people that sends me videos of,
I can imagine.
and now that the AI is so so prevalent that it's hard to tell a hoax from the real thing, and
right. Well, it kind of makes you wonder if it's all, like, how it's all connected. Like how I said about, like, it doesn't want you to remember. Like, that AI, it might have been like the like the Terminator trying to destroy all the evidence before we can. You don't even know how well that AI can get through the system. You know what I mean? Like, how about if it's like the internet? Like, I mean, better than the internet.
Oh yeah, I mean, even I'm writing a book right now, and I was looking for some narrators, and they were talking about AI. All I had to do was, if I wanted to do the book myself, instead of me sitting here in my studio and talking for 18 hours, I could just do like 16 or 5 to 7 minutes of me asking questions, getting mad, reading a regular story, and it'll take my voice, and then throughout my story, it'll do the whole, just me reading 3 or 4 paragraphs, it'll do the whole book.
I mean, it's awesome, but it's like, like nuclear power. I mean, we got our lights on, but it's also
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it seems like anytime something good happens, there's always that negative that can be a lot bigger. At least it seems bigger.
Yeah. Well, I hope that you don't have any more violent episodes where something's disturbing that much.
Right. No, I just, just I avoid certain things. I don't even really talk about it just so people don't have to be worried about it.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But it's like an addict, you know what not to be around and what to be around, and heck, I mean, I do good. I'm doing good, and I only had last experience was my daughter's grandmother, coming through, and
Uh-huh.
other than that, it's been peaceful, and I do hope that if there is a reason I have the gift, I actually welcome I welcome messages to come through. I just don't accept any attachments.
Right, right. Well, Eric, I really appreciate you coming on the show and sharing your stories.
Yeah, I hope I didn't go all over the place too much.
Oh, no, you're fine. Well, I look forward to talking to you again and keeping in contact with for anything new pops up,
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you, Eric Benedict, for your fantastic stories. And thank you, Sherri Granato, for referring Eric to me. I love stories like this. So if you have any stories to share, anything paranormal, drop me a line at cooley54@gmail.com. The links are at the bottom of this episode. I've been going since before the beginning of Thanksgiving, and I had to take some personal time off. Thank you for coming back and sticking with me, and thank you for the new listeners. I hope you stay on, and I'm sure there's going to be something on here for every one of you, whether it be Fae or ghost stories or UFOs, Bigfoot. Stay tuned. I have a lot of good guests, a lot of interesting topics coming up. I will see you in 2 weeks with another great episode on Ghosts in the Valley podcast.